Welcome to the 2022 Golf Summer Series, race number 10. Tonight, we're here at the Eldora Speedway for the running of the Eldora Dirt Derby. Now, this being Eldora, we're going to have a slightly different format compared to usual. Let's just take a look at the graphic here. Much like before, the top 25 in points going into tonight's race will be locked into the main event, whereas the bottom 13 points this time around will take part in the heat race, with the top 5 finishers of said heat race advancing to the main event. Of course, the heat race is still 15 laps, while the 80-lap main event will consist of the 30 drivers and will act like a normal GSS race. And as for the points, they will be awarded like normal, and the drivers who missed the main event will be scored as finishing 31st or 38th depending on their position. So if you or your favorite driver does miss the main event, don't worry, that we know DNQ is handed out. They will be scored like normal, like a typical GSS race. But without further ado, it's time to get this night of fun started, starting with our heat race as we take a look at our starting lineup. So on the pole is the 10 of Ross McMurrow and Exzel, Ohio native Alex Cass-Stevens. Row 2, Noah Clifton in the 76th and Trey Smith in the 22. Row 3, Gaming Creek in the 28 and Riot Roberts in the 42. Row 4, Dan McRoll finished second during the 2020 edition of this race, and Brendan Beal in the 16. Row 5, Braden Carruthers, who nearly won this race and the main event last year, and Xavier in the 33. Row 6, Roberto Crown in this powwow. And finally, row number 7, the 1 of RC Gamer. Taking a look at the track info here for tonight's race. Again, we're going to go 15 laps of the heat race, 80 laps of the main event on this half-mile long dirt track with 24 degrees of banking in the corners. And that's what I hear tonight, 57 degrees Fahrenheit with 5 miles per hour towards the east. And you see the past main event winners, Jake from State Farm in 2020 and Jordan Stout in 2021. And now it is time for the starting command here in the heat race.
Drivers, start your engines.
Hope everyone's having a great night here thus far. Of course, I want to thank all the support we've had for the summer series throughout this entire summer so far, despite all the delays. We're getting very, very close to the halfway point here in one last summer. But for now, it's time to get tonight's fun started as the pace car comes down pit road as we're underway here in the Eldora heat race. Good start for Oscar Parola through turns 1 and 2, now down the back straightaway here as he'll clear the 12 cars. Now Cass-Stevens is side by side with Noah Clifton for second. Ross McMurrow lead lap number 1 as Cass-Stevens continues to his ground on the inside as he continues to turns 1 and 2. Noah Clifton tucks into second while Gaming Freak and Dan McMurrow are up to third. Roberto Crown up to fifth. Now he's made it 3 wide on Cass-Stevens and Trey Smith. As it looks like Brendan Carruthers do just the same as he come to lap number 3 this time by. There comes Noah Clifton with a great run on Ross McMurrow. He looks at the inside the 10 car going into turn number 1 as we're side by side for the lead. And of course, just a reminder that everyone inside the top 5 will advance to the main event. And so far, it's looking like Gaming Creek will hold that final spot as Clifton will take the lead away from McMurrow as we come to complete lap number 3. So a battle for 5th there for the final spot between Braden Carruthers and Gaming Creek. Right in front of him, Roberto Crown is going to clear Dan McMurrow for the 3rd position. And looking back at the final spot, Braden Carruthers will go around the 28 car for the final spot as Braden looks to put all 3 of his cars in this main event. Here comes Crown now challenging for second on Ross McMurrow as he come off turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Crown's driven a fantastic race thus far as this is, of course, a very short race, but that 31 is sure making the most of it. Looks like with less than 10 laps to go, Roberto Crown's going up to second, while Ross McMurrow tucks in front from his brother in third. Meanwhile, Gaming Creek looking at the inside of Carruthers for the final spot, and so it comes this Paolo looking at the inside of Xavier as he comes to 9 laps to go this time by. Meanwhile, his teammate RC Gamer is currently at 9 for Trey Smith is the final car to this top 10. As off of 2 comes a good run from Trey Smith as now looks at the inside of RC into turn number 3. Meanwhile, Ohio native Alex Cass-Stevens below the top 10 and 11 as it comes Brendan Beal to the inside as it comes to 7 laps to go. Currently the car dead last right now is the 42 of Riot Roberts despite winning the 2nd race of the year at a short track at Vancouver. The fellow rookie of Noah Clifton continues to lead as he comes to 7 laps to go this time by. with the 31 a crowd right on his heels as we're on board from here as he comes off turn number 2 and down the back straightaway. And of course, despite this track being dirt, it is one of the fastest tracks here in the Summer Series schedule, as the crowd got a great run going into 4 that time by, but down the front straightaway and into turn number 1, Clifton will pull away once again as we come to 6 laps to go. Taking a look at the rest of this top 10, Ross Monroe is still holding on steadily to 3rd, while Brado is up to 4th in the 18, as Gaming Creek's back instead of top 5 and 5th, albeit with Xavier inching closer and closer in 6th. Meanwhile, Dan McMurrow in the 99 lost a lot of ground, of course, into the top 5 not too long ago, but currently is below that cut line. He's got about a foot of lead now. Here goes Roberto Crown side by side with Noah Clifton. Down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. Crown currently with the advantage, but off turns 3 and 4, he'll clear to 76 and come to 4 laps to go this time by. And of course, in last year's heat race, we saw a great battle between 2 teammates of Braden Crothers and Matthew Burnett. Will we see a great battle between these 2 rookies this year as they continue to turns 3 and 4? Off of 4, Crown continues to lead. It's going to 3 laps to go as Clifton got a great run off the corner of that time by. He looks to the side of the 31 as we're once again side by side. Clifton with the advantage off turn number 2 will clear to 31 down the back straightaway as Clifton goes back to the lead here at Eldora. 2 laps to go this time by. Coming back to that final spot, Gaming Creek still holding on to 5th as both Xavier and McMurrow are trying to put everything they can to get to that 28 car. You know, after turns 3 and 4 this time by, the white flag's in the air here in the heat race. Let's take a look back at that final spot. Let's see what Xavier will do here on this final lap. It looks like it's going to be a little too late for the 33 or 99 to make any move. It's coming off turn number 4 this time by. Checkered flag for Noah Clifton as a win the Eldora heat race. Roberto Crown, Ross McGroa, Braden Crothers, and Gaming Creek, the top 5 advancing. So definitely a big congratulations to those guys, as it looked to compete with the other top 25 drivers of the season so far for tonight's main event. But anyways, let's take a look at the full finishing results here for tonight's heat race. So here we go. Of course, like I said, your top 5 that are advancing. Noah Clifton in the 76, Roberto Crown in the 31, Ross McGroa in the 10, Braden Crothers in the 18, and the 28 at Gaming Freak. Again, big congratulations to those guys for advancing over to tonight's main event. And Roberto Crown, he looked really fast during his past couple laps, but unfortunately could just not hold off the 76, but still regardless, he's in the main event. You know, of course, unfortunately, everyone's 6 on down to all heading home here tonight, starting with the 33 of Xavier, Dan McGraw in the 99, probably one of the bigger shockers of missing tonight's main event, Alex Cass-Stevens in the 12, the 42 of Ryan Roberts, and the 1 of RC Gamer. And as for the last 3 drivers heading home, the 7 of this powwow, the 22 of Trey Smith, and the 16 of Brendan Beal finishing dead last in 13th. Of course, this will wrap up tonight's Eldora heat race, but don't go away, as we'll be right back with tonight's main event. Welcome back to the Eldora Speedway here for tonight's running of the Eldora Dirt Derby. We just concluded a 15-lap heat race, but now we're just about ready for tonight's 80-lap main event. But before we get started, let's take a look at tonight's starting lineup. So on the pole is a big-name driver desperate for a good run here tonight, the 53 of Random J, and extra on the points leader of Richard Herman, the 95. Row 2, Nathan Stapleton, of course, won a last race at Papyrus, and the 38 of Cal Salmon. Row 3, Lipsy, the 9, and 80 car, Jason Albert. Row 4, Calvin Baker and Matthew Hill. Row 5, defending series champion Hoodlum, and the 87 of Nathan Baird. Row 6, Matthew Burnett, of course, won the heat race last year, and the 17 of Dan Matteillo. Row 7, current Rookie of the Year leader in second place in points, Andrew Williams, and the 2 of David Johnson. Row 8, Brad Reim in the 6, and last year's Eldora winner, Jordan Stown in the 11. Row 9, Joe T in the 8, and the 37 of Owen Miles. Row 10, Nixon and Aiden Robertson. Row 11, Jordan Forbes and Ryan Wilson. Row 12, Keyshawn Richardson and Caleb Rose. Row 13, Johnny Hernandez, and of course the heat winner, Noah Clifton in the 76. And of course, row 14 on down all the heat drivers, starting from Roberto Crown in the 31, and the 10 of Ross Marola. And of course, in row 15, Braden Crothers in the 18, and the 28 of Gaming Freak. And now it is time for the starting command here in tonight's main event.
Drivers, start your engines!
So of course, much like before, all this field is all lined up and ready to go, with the sellout crowd all on their feet here at Eldora. As here we go, pace car is down pit road, as Random J and Richard Herman will lead the field to green here in the main event. It's going to be a good start for the inside, led by Random J, as he'll clear to 95 off turn number 2 down the back straightaway. But as Random moves to the outside, here comes Stapleton side by side with the 53. We'll check for now, do turns 3 and 4, Random will clear to 97. You can see 4 wide already to the back of the pack as Random leads lap number 1. Here comes Stapleton once again side by side through turns 1 and 2. Down the back turn now into turn number 3, Nathan Stapleton will clear to 53 as now Random has to deal with Lipsy for second. Alright, you can see a little bit further back, Herman in danger of losing the top 5 to Matthew Burnett as Nathan Stapleton will lead lap number 2 here at Eldora. Into 1, an aggressive block from the 53 as he looks to maintain his second spot over the 9 car. Looks like that will pay off for the 53 as now Lipsy's going to be side by side of Kellen Baker. Outside is definitely the place you do not want to be, especially in these corners, as Herman is still stuck on an outside lane. He's now 3 wide with the 2 dodges of Reim and Williams. Jordan Ford as well as Matthew Hill also going to make it 3 wide on the 95. As you can see, some of the other cars who started towards the back half of the field, like Johnny Hernandez, Roberto Crown, Ross Picarola, and Braden Crowder, was slowly but steadily making their way up towards the front. But at the same time, a lot of these drivers towards the back half of the field are still 4 wide, with Ryan Wilson nearly dooring his teammate Gaming Creek off for turn number 2 there. Battle for third now. Here comes Matthew Burnett side by side of Kellen Baker, as he will clear 2020 Series champion as he comes to lap number 6. Brad Reim in the 6 car also into this top 5 now, as he just got around his teammate Lipsy for that position. Or Jordan Forbes and Johnny Hernandez continue to make the way up towards the front. Same could also be said for Roberto Crown in the 31, who's already into the top 10 after starting in the second to last row after, of course, racing his way in via the heat race. Meanwhile, the heat winner of Noah Clifton is still making his way through the field, but he is on the inside as he's trying to force Aiden Robinson up the track as he'll make it 3 wide down the back straightaway with Albert in the 80 car. And as those battles towards the back half of the field continue, Nathan Stapleton still holds strong with the lead as he leads Random by over 6 tenths for a second. Of course, as I mentioned, Stapleton's fresh off his win on the last race at Papyrus, which subsequently caused him to move up 10 positions in the point standings up to 23rd and locking himself into the main event. And so far, he's definitely making the most of it. And if Stapleton does win here tonight, he'll become only the second ever driver to win back-to-back GSS races, the first being Dan Matteillo back in 2020 when he won Texas World and the Roval back-to-back. Meanwhile, second place is your pole sitter, Random J, who came to this race actually a position above Stapleton in the standings, and 22nd is not having a good season at all in that 53, and a win or even just a decent finish could definitely put that 53 back up in the top 20 in points, if not more. Behind him in third is the 13 of Matthew Burnett, who's having a season of a lifetime, as he came in this race 7th in the point standings, although it did drop a position after our last race at Papyrus. But back on the subject of Burnett's great season, this course can be highlighted by his win at Talladega last month. Fourth now is Bradley Reim, who came in this race 5th in the standings after a much-needed second-place run at Papyrus after 2 straight bad races at Talladega and Daytona. Kellen Baker's down to 5th as he came in this race 14th in the standings and hasn't really done much throughout this entire summer ever since his Roval win back in May. Rose Webster, who is currently running in 6th, came in as a points leader during the Firecracker 400, but after getting caught up in another incident at Papyrus, dropped him another position down to 943 back from the points leader, as it looks like he'll try to go around Kellen Baker for 5th, as he'll be side by side to 21 through turns 3 and 4. Got a battle heating up here for 7th between Jordan Forbes and Andrew Williams, with Williams all over the back bumper of Forbes as they continue to turns 1 and 2 this time by. Of course, both these drivers are in the top 10 in points, with Williams being second in points, only 8 back from Richard Herman. And with how mediocre Herman's running here so far tonight, this could be a great opportunity for that 23 to get that points lead. And as Williams clears Forbes, here's Roberto Crown on off Johnny Hernandez for the 9th position. With Hernandez also all over the back bumper with that 31. It looks like into turn number 3, both these Chevys will be side by side for that 9th position. And as Crown falls down to 10th, the 10 car, Ross McMurrow is right behind him on 11th. Who, of course, was another driver who had to race his way in via the heat race. 12th place this next here came to race 10th in the point standings, first time being in the top 10 in the standings ever since May. While behind him in 13th is Matthew Hill trying to hold off Aiden Robinson for that position, as the 54 looks at the inside of the 90 car into turns 1 and 2, as it will be side by side with Hill down the back straightaway now. And there is Richard Herman all the way down to 15th after starting 2nd. definitely a very disappointing run so far for our points leader. As I mentioned, if Rowan's being into the top 10 and being only 8 back coming in this race, Herman could possibly lose that points lead after the night's race. To make matters even worse, here comes Noah Clifton and also Joe T side by side of the 95. Through turns 1 and 2, now down the back straight away, as Joe T's going to make a 3 wide going into turn number 3 now. Of course, Clifton won the heat race, hasn't really done too much so far, especially compared to the 31 and 10. Back here, also see Nathan Beard in 87 and Caleb Rose in the 19. Keyshawn Richardson in the 24 also back here, as well as the 24 and 19 came in this race within the top 15 in the standings. Disappointing run so far for Braden Carruthers. He's currently 21st after nearly winning this race last year. And of course, much like last year, Carruthers is not having a good season at all, as he came into race 34th in the point standings. With our fellow dirt guy Kyle Salmon is also side by side with defending series champion Hoodlum for that 22nd spot, with Salmon have the advantage over the 88 car. And speaking of Hoodlum, the hits just keep on coming for that team, as he's been involved in wrecks in our past 3 races dating back to Talladega. And speaking of disappointing, there's last year's Eldora winner, Jordan Stout, as he's currently below the top 20, could possibly below the top 25 here, with Owen Miles being side by side with him right now. Same coach he said for Dan Matteillo in the 17, he's currently 27th. Even though he at least made it into the main event this year, his once promising start points-wise this summer has turned into a driver barely hanging on into the top 20 in the standings. And to wrap up the rest of the running order, Jason Albert is up to 28th. He's just going around Gaming Creek for that position. David Johnson being dead last in 30th. And you can just see there how close Stapleton is getting to these lap cars. And at the rate that 97 is going, I wouldn't be surprised if the next 10 laps or so will catch up to the other lap drivers. Let's go on board for Brandon as he comes off turn number 2 and now down the back straight away. As last time by the 53 was just under 4 tenths per second behind Stapleton. As it looks like it's going to be a pretty decent lap for the 53 as we come to lap number 25. And we'll see how far he is this time. Oh, looks like Graham's able to trim that gap by approximately 10th of a second. We'll see if he's able to continue that as we come to lap number 26. As we come to lap number 26, oh, looks like Graham pretty much lost all that time made up there. Down to over half a second behind Stapleton. Meanwhile, Matthew Burnett is slower, but steadily catching up to both the 97 and 53. As last time by, he was exactly a second behind the leader. Reim last time was 1.37 seconds behind, while everybody else starting 5th on down is at least over 2.5 seconds behind. Taking a look at a quick flyby at the field here, pretty much still most of the same, with Ryan Wilson side by side with Seaman Gaming Creek for one of the last positions. Meanwhile, cutting back to Stapleton as you come to lap number 28 of 80 this time by. As he continues to inch his way closer and closer to these lap cars and extends his gap over both Random and Burnett that time by. And of course, it goes without saying that Stapleton's led the most laps here so far. And as previously mentioned, Stapleton coming this race below the top 20 in points. Even just finishing decent here could definitely help that 97 as you enter the midsummer stretch. Coming to lap number 30, you can see just how Random sort of bounces back and forth between gaining ground on the 97 versus losing ground on the 97. Like sometimes Random does have good laps, but other times 53 does not produce good laps at all, subsequently losing him time on the 97. So he does here this time. And it looks like Random did gain a little bit of ground on Stapleton, but not really much in the grand scheme of things. Kellen Baker made up a little bit of ground over Lipsy. Now down to approximately 2.5 seconds, while Lipsy in 6th is still well over 3 seconds behind. Coming off turn number 4 once again, we come to lap number 32 of 80 here at Eldora. Here we'll still have briefly on the ticker. Richard Herman is in 19th in the 95, while Andrew Williams are still holding on strong inside the top 10. But if that keeps up, and especially if we stay green the entire way, could really hurt that 95 in the point standings. Not to mention, too, can also possibly leapfrog some other drivers in the top 10 in the standings who decent ways away behind the leader when it comes to points, like Lipsy, Nick or even Matt Burnett or Bradley Reim to catch back up with the current top 3 in the standings. Now, coming to lap number 34, Stapleton has officially caught up to his first lap car, with the first victim of possibly going a lap down is last year's Eldora winner, Jordan Stout. But at the same time, this could also possibly go with Stapleton's large result. Ryan Wilson and Stout make contact going in the front stretch. That was almost scary for both the 48 and 11, but also the 97 as that happened right in front of him. But that still did provide a negative effect for Stapleton, as both Random and Burnett have gained a lot of ground in 97, with Random less than 3 tenths of a second behind now. Burnett's gap is also down to half a second, so out comes Burnett side by side to 53 through turns 3 and 4 as we come to lap number 37. I don't really know if this is a good move or not for Burnett to go side by side of Random, as this is going to allow Stapleton to pull away once more. Looks like into turn number 3 this time by. Burnett's going to clear Random for second. As back up front, Stapleton's caught up to the lap cars again. As this time here around Jordan Stout as we come to lap number 38. Reim also briefly in the picture slowly but steadily catching up to Random as Random's well over a second behind the 97 now. The Stapleton's going to try to clear Jason Albert into turns 3 and 4 this time by. And as we come to lap number 39, it's time for another edition of Golf Summer Series Crank It Up. Lap number 51 of 80 here at Eldora, obviously past halfway, as David Stapleton continues to put on a clinic here in the Eldora Dirt Derby. Is absolutely dominated here tonight. So just about every single lap so far, as that 97 looks to get a second straight Golf Summer Series win. Matt from the 13 remains in second, the 13, while 2020 Summer Series champion Kellen Baker is in third. Whoopsie up to fourth in the 9 car, while his teammate Bradley Reim is currently in fifth. Meanwhile, Jordan Forrester's got her on Random J for 6, as your pole sitter continues to drop like a rock here tonight. Meanwhile, Andrew Williams currently second in points, up to 8th. Johnny Hernandez up to 9th. Roberto Crown rounds off the rest of the top 10. Battle for second. Here comes Kellen Baker side by side with Burnett through turns 3 and 4. As we come to lap number 54, Baker bear with the advantage over Burnett. And into turns 1 and 2, Baker will clear Burnett for the second position, as Stapleton continues to deal with this lap traffic. Current last year's Eldora winner Jordan Stout and David Johnson are a lap down, and is about to put Jason Albert a lap down here soon. And Stapleton's been trying to clear Albert for quite some time now. Finally, off turn number 2, Stapleton will clear the 80 car. Last time by, the gap between Baker and Stapleton is well over a second and a half. Really does go to show you how next to perfect Stapleton has been so far tonight. And at this point right now, it's pretty much his race to lose, especially if he gets a good pit stop, which is of course inevitably coming, as well if this race does remain green. The lap cars are Johnson and Albert still right behind, as the lead lap drivers will come to complete lap number 56 this time by. Meanwhile, Baker's trying to go on Jordan Stout as he looks to the inside of the 11 car. Through turn number 2, now down the back straightaway. Into turns 3 and 4, the 2 Pontiacs are still side by side, with the 13 of Burnett slowly creeping in. Off of 4, Baker still side by side with Styles. Round goes Jason Albert into turn number 1. He's going to bounce off the inside wall and hit the outside wall as we're under caution for the first time here tonight at Eldora. And Stapleton's crew, I'm really sorry for jinxing y'all. The announcer jinx is real even in here, as Albert has heavy damage to both sides of his car. Of course, the leader at that time by was Nathan Stapleton. As we're going to see what everyone's going to do here for pit road, as Calvin Baker is getting ready to come down pit road into 21. See if anyone wants to follow him down here. So far, he's the only car down pit road. This pretty unique pit road, to say the least, with, of course, this being a dirt track. As we got, looks like other cars also coming down pit road. And yep, that is alongside Roberto Crown, Ross McRolla, Aiden Robertson. Joe T and Owen Miles also coming down pit road here, as Kellen Baker is going to win the race off pit road easily, as you still got some other drivers coming in at the last minute. And what's this? We got more cars. Here's Nathan Stapleton down pit road, and he's going to be followed by pretty much everybody else. And my question is, why didn't these guys come down to begin with? I mean, I get Eldora is a pretty tricky, narrow pit road, but by coming down now and doing your pit stop, you're losing tons and tons of track position. And even though Stapleton wins the race off pit road, he will not cycle back as the leader, as that first group of drivers that came down pit road, led by Kellen Baker, will be scored as your leaders when we come back to the restart. But anyways, let's take a look at the instant replay to see what caused our first caution here tonight at the Eldora Dirt Derby. So all just started coming off turn number 4 when Jason Albert was side by side with fellow lap driver David Johnson in the 2 car. So Johnson on the inside moves up Albert to the outside and just turns Albert via his left rear quarter panel, as Albert takes pretty decent licks on both the inside and outside walls. Looks like thankfully no one else was caught up in that. Strong boy with David Johnson here. And oh yeah, definitely turned Albert off of 4 there. Definitely a tough break there for the 80 car of Albert. Anyways, under caution for the first time here tonight at the Eldora Dirt Derby. We'll be right back for you guys after this. Welcome back to the Golf Summer Series here at Eldora. We're about to go at green after Jason Albert got turned by David Johnson into turn number 1. However, fortunate for both drivers, they'll continue the rest of the race. And yeah, I have no idea why the hell Caleb Rose is up here, but your top 3 is Kellen Baker into 21, followed by Nathan Stapleton in 97, who's dominated most of the day, and Roberto Crown into 31, as we're back at the green here at Eldora. We're going to restart for the inside lane, as Roberto Crown's going to be side by side of Kellen Baker down the back straightaway. The returns 3 and 4, Crown will clear Baker with ease, as Random J side by side the 21 as we come to lap number 66. Roberto Crown was one of the drivers who had the race to the end via the heat race, and then finishing second. A win here tonight for that team will be absolutely massive, as we came this race all the way back in 30 seconds. Meanwhile, towards the middle of the pack, we're 3 wide with Stapleton way up on the racetrack, as that 97 is losing a lot of track position here. Matthew Hill, Aiden Robertson, and Keith Sargent also coming up through the field, as the top 2 of Crown and Random continue to pull away. Through turns 3 and 4 once again, we come back to the start-finish line to complete lap number 67 and 80 here at Eldora, with only 13 laps to go. In the last several laps or so, Random has maintained a gap of around 0.4 of a second behind Crown. And so far, Random's doing a really good job of keeping up with Crown, but the 19 of Rose is definitely going to be an obstacle Random's going to have to face as the laps continue to wind down here. As it come to lap number 69. Nice. As it come back to the rest of the field behind him, Kellen Baker down to 5th into 21, as he tries to get around him after Burnett into turn number 3, with both Keith Sharonson and Noah Clifton moving up to the top 10. But you see some 3 wide through turns 3 and 4, with Aiden Robinson way up on the racetrack there. As you come back to the 97 of Stapleton, who continues to lose ground as he's fallen below the top 10 and 13th, and possibly even more here as he's 3 wide with Richard Herman and Dan Matteillo down the back straightaway. Nathan Baird, Gaming Freak also back here alongside Johnny Hernandez, Jordan Forbes, and Andrew Williams, drivers who ran most of the way throughout this entire race inside the top 10, but are currently below the top 15. Meanwhile, back to your leaders as Brandon Finder gets on Caleb Rose in the 19 through turns 3 and 4. As we come to lap number 72, we come to 9 laps to go here at Eldora, as we're on board the 53 here this time by. Last time by, Random had a gap of just over 0.3 of a second. Oh, round goes Aiden Robertson to turn number 1. Nathan Stapleton, Brady Carruthers, and Gaming Freak also involved as they're under caution again. And that is something neither Crown or Random wanted to see. As much like our last caution, this will change pretty much everything. You can see the destroyed car of Gaming Freak there alongside Nathan Baird of obviously Crown and Random being the 2 leaders that time by. But anyways, let's take a look at the instant replay. This will cause only our second, but regardless, still big caution here tonight. So almost like a last caution, this started in turns 3 and 4 of Aiden Robinson being side by side with points leader Richard Herman. So Herman gets a run on the inside. And then, just like Albert and Johnson, he gets into Robertson's left rear and just spins him out. He goes to the inside wall and just comes back onto the track with a lot of drivers having nowhere to go there. So Nathan Stapleton barely avoided that. Tons of damage to the 87 and 28 alongside the 18 of Johnny Hernandez in the 46, also getting damage from that. On board of Richard Herman, just much like Johnson last time with Albert, just turns Robertson into the inside wall. Just massive chain reaction there. On board of Brady Carruthers here. Oh my goodness, hard hit there for the 18 as he rear-ended the 28 there. Finally on board with Johnny Hernandez. And I actually stand corrected. Johnny did not get any damage to that at all. Great miss there for the 46. But anyways, we're under caution once again here at Eldora. We'll be right back for what should be the final restart here for the night's race. Welcome back to the Golf Summer Series here at Eldora. We're about to come back green after a multi-cover collision in turns 1 and 2, involving the 2080 Gaming Freak, Braden Carruthers, Aiden Robinson, among others. Currently, the top 3 is Roberto Crown in the 31, followed by Random J in the 53, and Joe T in the 8 car. And even though this is technically a green-white checkered finish, we are still within the advertised time. But as the pace car comes on pit road, we're back on the green here at Eldora, with only 2 laps to go. And a great restart for Roberto Crown in the turns 1 and 2 as he'll clear the 53 off for turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Ready to cross through the top 5, and he's stuck on the outside through turns 3 and 4 of Joe T, making it 3 wide for second. This time by White Flag in the air, 1 lap to go here at Eldora, with Roberto Crown leading as a 3 wide behind. Noah Clifton side by side with Joe T down the back straightaway. Goes to be too little too late as Crown pulls away through turns 3 and 4 for the final time. And coming to the checker flag is Roberto Crown, who gets his first career win here at Eldora. Congratulations to Roberto Crown Jr. and Albert Motorsports. They are your winners tonight here at Eldora. Absolutely fantastic night overall for the 31 team. Had the race delay in, finished second in the heat race, and obviously won here tonight in the main event. And not to mention, it's also the second time in a row we have had a first-time winner here in the Summer Series. But anyways, let's take a look at the finishing results and point standings after the night's race. So here we go. Roberto Crown Jr. finishes first in the 31. Again, big congratulations to that team. While Noah Clifton, who of course won the heat race, finishes second here in the main event. Good night also overall for the 76 team. Same can also be said for Ross McBrow in the 10, who also had the races win via the heat race, as he finished third in the 10 car. So the heat drivers tonight really put on a fantastic performance here tonight in both the heat race and the main event. Just incredible stuff. Meanwhile, a good finish for Joe T in the 8 car, who finishes 4th, while Calvin Baker gets a much-needed top 5 finish, finishing 5th. Meanwhile, Random J fell down to 6th after that final restart. And even though obviously it wasn't the top 5 they were looking for, it was still a much-needed points night for the 53 team here tonight. Defending series champion Holden also gets a much-needed points night, finishing 7th in the 88 car, while Richard Herman gets another top 10, finishing 8th. Matthew Burnett finishes 9th in the 13, while Nathan Stapleton, who had the most laps tonight, will round off the rest of the top 10. And now for the point standings after race number 10, with Richard Herman still on top of the point standings with 318 points, while Jonah Forrest moves back up to second in points despite having a bad night here tonight, albeit 22 points behind the 95, so definitely Forrest got his work cut out for him if he wants to catch up to Herman. Matthew Hill is just behind him in third, won by 23, where Andrew Williams falls down to fourth, won by 24, and is actually currently tied with Joe T for that position, but due to, of course, Williams' win at Iowa, got the advantage over the 8 car. Matthew Burnett back up to 6 in points, won by 27, where Brad Reim is back down to 7th in points, won by 31. His teammates Caleb Rose and Lipsy are 8th and 9th respectively, with Rose trailing by 38 and Lipsy trailing by almost by full race, won by 46. And running off the rest of the top 10 is Calvin Baker in the 21, also almost a full race behind the 95, as he's 47 points behind. Next up, race number 11, the halfway point here in One West Summer. We cross the northern border to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal for the Tim Hortons 250, which will be up on this channel very, very soon. But as always, y'all, thank you guys for watching this race. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.